What is your relationship with Brandy?
We're grown now, so our relationship is good because we really respect each other, and I recognize that she is by far one of the greatest to ever do it, and that there's a whole era of music where she and I, and of course you can't forget Aaliyah, it was just the three of us, and we were learning and growing, but at the same time, there was a whole audience that was molding and shaping their lives right around us. Because in the three of us, you could find something you connect to. So I think it was good for us to grow up and recognize that there's this room and this space for the two of us. You don't have to choose one. It's not a competitive thing because you can't undo the history, and we both have ours, and we've done some things that other people can't say that they've done.
So right now we're gonna get into Brandy versus Monica. This is a classic battle for years now.
Oh,
you know, so I'm gonna go with.
That's so hard.
It is, man. It is. I'm gonna go with Brandy.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna go with Brandy. I'm gonna take her over Monica. I feel like just with Brandy is musically, and she had the movies, the Moesha show. It's just like that was like my childhood. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on her, and so I'm gonna take her. What you think?
Brandy for runs, I choose. Like, she's the vocal Bible of runs and harmony. And, you know, she knows her stuff musically.
Mary, can you say who you were rooting for in the Brandy Monica one?
You know, I was rooting for both of them because they both have like amazing history, amazing songs. They were very, friendly to each other during the verses, in spite of, all the chatter we heard, in the business of them being at each other's throat. They were very mature about how to handle it. And so I was rooting for both of them because they both have joints. Like Brandy and Monica got joints.
What's up? It's Jasmine Sullivan, everybody, and I'm here to talk about my girl Brandy B. Rocka. She is definitely an influence to the top influence to all R&B female artists, and I absolutely love her voice, her tone. She just bad. She just can sing, and she know it. And I definitely have been influenced by her, and I love her. She's one of the best. I love a lot of Brandy songs, but have you ever loved somebody so much it makes you cry? Woo! Singer!
And I also know that you're a big fan of Brandy's. I remember in 2009 you said you didn't really study her growing up, but you kind of changed that like a few years later. You said you can't deny her influence.
You can't deny
So
her
has
influence.
something happened between that time frame where you just got into Brandy and all of a sudden you're like, damn, like I see why they call her the vocal Bible. Like now I understand. Was there?
Well, no, I mean both those things that I said. I didn't grow up like studying her. There are people who I shed. There are people who, Aretha Franklin, Ella Fitzgerald, Etta James, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey. Those people I shed, I studied. You know what I mean? And then Brandy I got into a little bit later, and I still, I love Full Moon. I think her new single is dope, Begging and Complete, and she's singing her fucking face off. It's incredible. I simultaneously mean that she is a vocal Bible to a lot of people, and myself included. I mean, she has so much range and so much depth, and there's so much ill stuff going on in her brain and in her throat, and it's in her heart.
So if you had Mary J. Blige, Beyonce, and Brandy, arguably all of them could be the B in R&B.
Woo!
Blige, Brandy, Beyonce.
That's a good
And we have executives with a record contract and a lighter underneath. And they singing, like they're really just singing. No studio effects, no weaves, no emotional performance, just singing. And you're an exceptional singer, so you can definitely judge that. Who gonna keep their record deal and whose record deal is just gonna vanish in flames?
Woo! Okay, I think that when it comes to sheer vocals and standing up every time and just being like I'm gonna give it to Brandy.
I would have said the same thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Brandy. But all three singers are unique. Mary J. Blige can make you cry.
No, absolutely.
And Brandy can too. And Beyonce will cry on stage and make you cry too. You're like, damn it, B, what did you just do to me? I'm not just trying to, I am trying to be level, but it's the truth too. Like, that's a hard one.
No, I really appreciate the honesty because you could have just been like, let me know all three of them. But
well, they are. They're all amazing.
Yeah, they're incredible.
Legends, all of them.
What about Brandy and Monica? You listen to Brandy and Monica, The Boy's Mine?
No.
No?
What's your relationship like now with Brandy?
I listen to Brandy.
Uh-huh.
I just don't listen to Brandy and Monica. We've had 2 records together.
Yeah.
Over a 20-something year span. I think The Boy's Mind turned 21 last week.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the reality is that, like for me, Have You Ever is one of my favorite records of all time. But listening to her is super easy. I just don't listen to myself. She has one of the greatest voices of our time.
She really does.
And
I love Brandy.
yeah. And I always say that her tone is just immaculate. So
Yeah.
I listen to her, but me listening to me, I just have not gotten there yet.
Were you two put together by the record companies, or were you all friends before?
We had never met when we recorded The Boy Is Mine. Yeah, that was something a lot of people didn't know. She was working on her album with Rodney Jerkins, and they already had the song written and produced, and so they called me. I'm out in Atlanta doing country stuff, and they had me come out here to California, and we recorded the record. That was our first time meeting.
And did you guys maintain a relationship afterward?
Not at all.
No.
We didn't maintain a relationship because once the song was released, that's when all of the supposed they don't like each other. This is that.
Right.
And then it was created to be even bigger by the skits, all of the different stuff that was happening that came with the song. But since in the song we were feuding, it basically kind of created that atmosphere, and it became almost like a real thing throughout teenage years.
Yeah.
I mean, adults now.
Yeah.
Nobody got time to be
Nobody
fighting.
got time for that.
Yes.
Congratulations, Brandy, on 20 years in this business. You are incredible. You are flawless. You are beautiful and vocally incomparable. There is no one that sounds like Brandy. I am honored that I have lived in the era that Brandy lives in, so I get to hear you sing.
And I love Brandy. She's a sweetheart. I met Brandy when she was actually just getting started. I think Brandy was 11 or 12 years old when I first met her. An adorable kid, you know, and she is quite a talent.